Each time I have improved upon it, added things, um, and now have a much better hook than the original one that I had. Uh, I did a session zero with most of you to establish how you guys know each other, and right now I'm going to establish that uh, as you were getting into Hellspring, pulling in on a basically a steamship, Hellspring's port, the port of Hellspring had actually been retrofitted to accept the steamship technology, which came over from Emlaren. Uh, when you guys disembarked, you ran into a very unusual tabaxi, which is probably a race that none of you had seen before, and probably much like Tallulah, would have caught you off guard. Uh, Now, from Fangtail's perspective, it's doubtful that Fangtail has been anywhere near like the steamships before. Uh, I don't know how exactly he'd have gotten, or she actually got to this port to begin with, but the steamships are still fairly new in this region, but have been opening things up to trade with Mlarn, which is technologically sophisticated. We would consider them modern tech, having modern tech, whereas most of the rest of the world is, or at least most of the rest of the known world in this region, is medieval tech to just barely industrialized, which is what Hellspring is. Hellspring is a barely industrialized nation, which is acquiring certain steam techs, especially railroads, from the people of Imlarn. So, just as a real quick before we move on to the actual intro, how would a Fangtail introduce yourself to the party?
Well, I was going to do a little bit of a role play, but Fangtail is basically a rogue in armor, tight leather armor, with a small little cape behind her. Like most rogues. Um, she's got black fur. She she's got piercing blue eyes. Was it that I put down? I think it was blue. I don't think I placed it down. Wait. Yes, bright blue eyes. That's basically her getup, with a short sword uh, to her.
But oh,
Basically, a
go ahead.
typical rogue.
But how do
Please.
you how do you endear yourself to the party, or has the
Oh,
party essentially kidnapped you as a potential guide? What do you guys think?
well, first of all, when she sees this steamship, I'm guessing it'd be like my first time seeing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will be super excited, gets up close, and expect touching it, looking it around, and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, you like get to see a little tiny bit of the front piece in order to touch it, because it's like think of modern day ships. It's not quite as big as like a cruise ship or anything like that, or even a transport ship, but it's still pretty big compared to the normal wooden sailing ships that people are used to.
Oh my god, this is massive! Uh,
And the five individuals from the Imaru Corp are some of the first to disembark, having to leave behind their modern technology. Like their cell phones do not work here. But
are you guys that own this ship? It goes up to Keen.
Keen kind of looks up at the big giant cat thing and just blinks at it, like he almost feels like he needs to run away. You're talking to I put down he is only 71 centimeters tall, so he's pretty tiny.
Well, Fangtail crouches down to talk to you.
Seems to make
Is
him a
that your
little bit
ship?
more comfortable.
How did you make this sort of this machine thing?
Kind of looks at the tabaxi. I don't even know if he knows it's a tabaxi. He's like, didn't make it. Just ride it.
So who owns it?
Keen just kind of shrugs. Shipping company? I'm assuming our corp doesn't own it.
Move back a bit.
Actually, in this case, I imagine the transportation-wise, Imru Corp, being
Are they?
rather.
Because I know they were building the rail line, but
Yeah.
they're doing the
But
steamship too.
It's possible that they own own one or two steamships for transportation purposes. Just as part of their we're trying to keep this all together sort of thing. Like they're one of those companies that has been diversifying since they originally started and has been building up and probably owns like a good deal of things at this point. One of the big up and coming companies.
By the looks of it, by not knowing about it and all that sort of stuff, I take a step back and like, did you steal it?
No, we didn't steal it.
Oh, thank
Nori
God.
walked
Oh.
up to Keen.
So what if we did?
Well, stealing is wrong. Kind of looks away a little bit.
I guess Keen
They're
would kind
stealing-
of scratch his head and be like, "My boss's boss's boss owns it, or no, my boss's dad's boss." I don't know. Too confusing.
To be quite frank, I don't think it matters.
The Pacifics don't matter.
So I'm guessing you guys are definitely not from around here.
What gave it away?
Hey, pause real
the
quick
big
for
huge
Enola
thing.
and I. Our audio's cutting out like fucking crazy.
Okay.
I'm okay, but her audio's just ridiculous. I need to figure out what's going on with the internet so she can actually participate.
Okay.
Should we pause or?
No, this is still pre-game technically.
I mean, I would imagine we're all dressed like in way more modern and synthetic
Yeah,
gear than.
Nori still has his suit on.
Yeah, Keen's kind of got like a spandex type turtleneck and like.
So Nori has a suit on. Fangtail kind of comes up to Nori and like, may I? Reaches out a hand to try and pat the leather. The suit.
Sure, I guess.
Thank you.
So,
Starts to kindly
I can-
pat you on the
Nori
shoulder.
gives you a
for
very
enough to
confused look.
Is the trade between these areas like recent? Like, would they have gotten any? Is there a?
There's been you would know from probably given a briefing by your bosses and boss. Basically would be given a briefing packet to read on the ship voyage. So I'm just going to give you this. That trade with this region has been going on for a few decades now. However, most of the trade has been in raw materials and tourism and such like things like that. Less so in synthetic materials and weaponry or things of that nature.
Is there like no interest in it, or is there like an embargo? Like we don't want them to have it.
It's kind of an embargo of we don't think that we can support them with that yet. We're just barely getting them used to railroad technology, and once that comes in, maybe we can talk about electricity and synthetic fibers and those sort of things.
So they're not ready for it yet.
Yeah. Also, they're two neighbors. You know that to the west is the elven nation of Galora, which is mainly druidic, and they are already starting to have problems with this industrialized nation right next to them. Like thoughts of pollution. The concept of synthetic fibers would basically make them very upset. And then there is the peoples of Titrol, which are not exactly a nation, but more of a land with a bunch of allied tribes of various races that don't want development in their lands because it would stop with what they do with their lives. Like there's Furbolg and Centaur. There's known to be some what is it, Luxin or Luxodon? The elephant folk.
The elephant guys, yeah.
Yeah, and even some turtles in that region. Most of the turtles would mostly be along the coast, but there are basically that region doesn't want any type of development, and In fact, they were the ones that were delaying the possibility of the railroad. That's something that you know from your briefing. Until recently, they finally negotiated the fact that, okay, you can build the railroad, but only if it's directly next to the Odling Mountains all the way down to the south. You cannot move it anywhere through our territory beyond that. You cannot go across the around along the coast. You have to go along the mountain to the south.
Sorry for asking for the history lesson. Just want to
No,
you know.
history lessons are good.
Good.
It's useful in the game, and it's good to get some ideas, especially when you talk to the king in a minute. Enola and Kella, you guys ready?
I am, dear. Are you good?
Yeah, and I promise to keep the king fully intact.
You know, I know they told us we'd be roughing it, but this is quite ridiculous, don't you think?
I mean, what do you mean?
He warned us what we were getting into from the start. Quit your whining.
But they like my air conditioning.
Listen, we've got.
Yeah.
we're
What
getting
season is it right
pay.
now?
At the moment, it is early fall, but here's the thing. The sea that's directly north of you, the one that you just traveled on, that's almost on the equator. The equator
Okay,
is
so
slightly
we're, like-
is slightly to the north, so you're basically in tropical, subtropical lands. In fact, a lot of northern Hellspring is known to be savanna land.
Just to kind of give Jesse, is that the Tabaxi's name?
No, it's Fangtail, but my name is
Fangtail.
Jesse. Yes.
Okay, Fangtail. So just to give you an idea of what Varys looks like, Varys is a drow with a very elegant suit on, with a black suit, kind of with a white. A black suit with a white undercoat and a black tie with a golden sun at the bottom of it that's kind of glowing. And you see on his left hip, he's always carrying his flute.
Or he's still cuter. Anyway, what are you guys here for? Still stroking the Nori.
I feel like we missed something.
The Tabaxi is wandered over to Nori, and Nori's wearing a nice suit. I think Kella is too, but he is in the middle. She is in the middle of stroking his suit.
Why am I getting deja vu?
Cal actually is not wearing a suit anymore. He's
Okay.
dressed very much down.
Okay, so he's
So
dressed down.
notably wearing a
He's
bit of body
naked.
armor. Light, but it's there.
Tallulah. Well, I mean, she wasn't wearing clothes to begin with, so she just now has a great sword strapped to her back. But that's really the only change.
What is Keen? Because I can't tell from the picture.
He's a little kobold.
Oh, you're a kobold. That's cute.
Yeah, he's tiny and he's wearing kind of like black tactical gear. It's equivalent to leather armor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would have the same AC as leather armor, same basic stats, but for flavor-wise, it would be considered tactical gear.
Fancy. So, what brings you guys in? Are you here to visit our local tavern? Maybe do some bounties? Some
We're on
quests?
official business.
Oh, fancy Nori. Wait, did you mention names?
No.
Oh,
I
fancy.
haven't said my name yet.
Fancy for the fancy man. Kind of fancy business.
Hey, Catwoman.
Yes?
Okay, so out of character, one thing I need to mention is you guys are going to notice that Varys uses many different accents, okay? That's going to be found out different why later, but that he uses many different accents. So if you hear me using many different accents, it's not because I can't nail it down, it's because my character just uses a lot of them.
Good
So
for the
you're
clarif-
indecisive.
Good for the clarification, because I'm still
Indecisive.
I'm still trying to work on. I sometimes struggle with accents myself, so it's a good
I want
clarification.
to get into voice acting with my characters lately. Even my heavy metal buddy's got like that sided fucking heavy metal voice sort of shit, you know.
So,
It's
do we
crazy.
have a contact here, or are we just supposed to waltz up to the king? To
Uh,
the palace?
the the contact will be let's see. You have basically somebody standing nearby, probably holding up a sign like at the airport saying, Imaru party, blah blah blah, and with a carriage, waiting to take you down to Hellspring. Sorry, down to Fire Down, um, and which is the capital. Uh, and from there, they will give you instructions as to
So we're
meeting the king.
expected. We're not just like
Yes.
dropping in. Okay.
Correct. You are expected.
I'm gonna look around, see if I see that sign.
Yeah, there is a large burly minotaur holding a sign in common that reads Imru Party.
I'm gonna make my way over there.
Oh,
As
you
will
guys
I.
leaving already?
Same here.
Oh.
Well, we do have business to get to.
Fancy business.
Don't know about fancy, but business nonetheless.
Okay.
Will we need a guide later?
Probably.
I know this place like the back of my hand. I've been here since I was a kid.
Haven't you guys ever seen the movies? You're not supposed to take the guide that you find first. Hey, what would be the equivalent of Star Wars in this world?
I don't have a name. I don't have a name for it, but there probably is
Crystal Sphere Wars?
equivalent. Maybe.
Do you guys remember in Crystal Sphere Wars when they met that thing out there that led them into the bottom of the ocean to that underworld town?
What?
The really annoying thing?
Didn't
with the,
they
with
win
the
that
fish
fight?
lips?
Yeah, wasn't that a good thing?
No, it got him almost eaten by that giant fish.
The one that
But-
was a real racial stereotype of a Kuatoa, or whatever, however you said that word.
Wasn't.
That's how I pronounce it.
I'd like to point out that they won at the end of that movie. The main concern is that the smartest person died at the end, so at least you'll be safe.
Oh shit! What you guys are talking about? Oh snap!
Well,
Tallulah is just like shrinking into her shell.
Well, I mean,
But
I'm
also-
assuming that Tallulah wouldn't have seen Crystal Wars or what.
Tallulah has no idea what's going on. She is like shrinking into her shell and looking at Varus like, okay, what the fuck is wrong with this dude? Is he taking his acting too seriously? Can we just leave him here?
well, to be honest, Kel, you're not too wrong on that because, say on a 0 to 20 scale, I have about a 10 intelligence.
He'll be the
So-
first to die.
He's just here. So you're stupid?
I may be stupid, but I can talk myself out of any fucking situation.
He's compensating for something.
With which accent?
What?
With which accent?
No, it doesn't fucking matter. I can use whichever one I want.
That's not how accents work.
Ah, but it is.
You as she walks by
Compensation.
Varus, she just says, "You are a strange man."
I mean,
Oh,
isn't that kind of normal when they're going through puberty, like their voice changes?
Oh, but I can use many voices, I see.
That would also
Jeez.
explain the mood swings.
Does this one come with a gift receipt?
Oh, you think I'm a gift?
I was talking about
Oh.
Varus, actually.
Hey, I didn't want to be here in the first place. I'm just getting paid to be here. I will sing the songs of my people for you though.
We're all getting paid to be here. That's
Hey,
our
that's
job.
pretty good.
The Minotaur discreetly coughs, kind of holding the sign more firmly.
Would I know this Minotaur's name?
No, it's just some courier. It looks like.
Okay. Well,
Tallulah's just gonna get in the carriage.
if you guys
Are
don't
you-
know me, then
Would you be a good guide for us? We might need a guide.
Hells yeah, I've been living in this city ever since I was a kid, and I've been traveling around,
Well-
and I always find myself back here.
Because you keep getting lost, or
Yeah, because this place is lovely.
Smell of
Well,
I'm
the
walking
smell of
towards
fish
the Minotaur.
permeates the air along with the salty breeze from off the sea.
well, we are in a hurry, so how about we don't have much time to look for a guide, so you'll have to do.
Well,
fuck us over, I'll
Here's
kill
a-
you.
Here's a gold for your troubles.
well.
So we're bringing Meow Meow Binks with us?
Oh
Yes,
my
we
god,
are.
that is the perfect name.
Wait, how am I overcarrying capacity? What's going on here? I don't get it. How am I overcarrying capacity?
Oh, you just have to give the gold back.
Basically, we've just turned Fangtail into our oh fuck, like a follower in Skyrim. What's the most famous follower in Skyrim that you get in Whiterun? What's her name?
Lydia?
Yeah, we just turned Fangtail into Lydia. He just carries shit
I
for
don't
us.
get it though. I only just started, and my total weight is overcarry
Oh.
capacity.
What? I don't know. Hold on. Your thing shouldn't have that. Give me a sec.
Yeah,
whoa.
I typically don't worry
Yeah.
about like carrying
Remember this-
capacity
yeah.
unless I'm like trying to carry 10, unless somebody's trying to carry like 10 pairs of plate mail or something. Because I'm a kobold, I have -1 strength. I can't carry much of anything.
Yeah, I've got -4 strength.
Oh, that explains it. Yeah.
You kept that roll with the 3? Oh,
Negative.
Yeah, this
That's-
means that you can't really carry that hempen rope that you've got on you, and the tinkerer's tools. Those are both 10 pounds each. The leather armor is weighing you down.
I don't need the hemp rope.
that's a heavy ass piece of rope.
Mm-hmm. And everyone else should have rope on them. So
Yeah.
And you got climb speed. You're a cat. You don't need rope.
Yeah, you're a cat. You don't need
Yeah.
a rope.
Don't eat
Unless
any
you're gonna
suspicious
bat it, lay on your
mushrooms.
back and bat it around. Or some shit.
Hey,
well,
hey,
see if that
that
happens.
happened one time.
If that happens, though, it's not like the rope would do him any good or her any good. Because she wouldn't have any
Okay,
arms to carry it with.
Took off the tinker's tools. I took off the tinker's tools and the rope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just stay away from odd mushrooms,
Yes.
and you'll be fine.
Yeah, but that was that was only in the Feywild anyway.
It was still traumatizing, okay? Because then my limbs were left in the bag of holding forever.
They grew back. Anyway, it takes about a day of traveling in this carriage.
God damn it! I was gonna do a little bit of roleplay.
Does the carriage have snacks?
Yes, the carriage does have snacks.
Tallulah
It has
brought some.
unusual snacks, Freddy. They're not in hermetically sealed bags or anything like that. There is like a couple of apples, some loaves of bread, some weird smelling cheese.
I'm already missing the nice snacks back home.
Tallulah's gonna reach
It's
into her
warm,
shell.
and you can smell. Actually, this carriage is being pulled by a rhino. So you smell, instead of horse, which you might have expected, you smell rhino.
Tallulah reaches into her shell and tosses Keen a bag of chips.
He seems
so you're-
very happy that he's not eating the scary, like, whatever the stuff is that's in the carriage.
Nori
I mean,
just looks at Fangtail. Are you right there?
Yeah, I'm just trying to protect you. You never know.
Okay. I'm not.
I'm
gonna
just
question
playing-
that.
I'm just playing my flute the entire ride.
Oh God.
It sounds quite good.
Some nice.
Does it
Speak-
sound good though?
Yeah,
Well,
does it?
well
Does
performance.
it actually sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
Keen going to crawl out and ride on the roof of the carriage? Yeah, Keen's crawling out and riding on the roof of the carriage with his bag of chips.
God. Would you stop playing, please?
What is that awful sound?
He's just gonna pull his little hood up and put on his sunglasses and just ride on the roof of the carriage with his bag of chips.
Tallulah's eyes get a little bit darker blue, and she looks over at Varus and she's like, I will throw that flute out the window. Stop it.
Cram it somewhere.
I'm sorry. It seems like
Don't blame it on the flute.
No, it seems like it's flat from the ride over here. It's not used to this kind of land yet.
It's flat.
Tallulah just
Not
like
used to
cocked her
this
head.
land.
Yes,
Oh,
because
God.
So much about
we are
talking your
we
way
are
out of anything.
presumably at a different elevation, and so it is it is much different pitch for my flute.
If you're not careful, the only thing flat here will be your flute, because it will roll under those carriage wheels.
I also have a pen flute I can play for you if you'd
No,
rather listen to that.
No,
No.
that's fine. It's fine.
Just can we have some silence with no music, please?
I can sing for you.
No.
No. Do you understand the word silence?
The worst ever thing for a bard is fucking playing first game and everybody hating you.
Rolling a natural one straight up. No one's gonna trust you to play anything ever again.
Okay, I will be quiet now, and I will just speak to my flute.
Please do not perform for King.
Yeah, that
We
would
don't
be
wanna die.
bad. Make sure you practice a lot more
Not now.
out of
Not
now.
earshot of us. Out of earshot of us, so we don't have to hear that terrible, terrible music.
You guys just don't have the same ear taste as the Underdark, I guess.
Clearly.
Good thing. No wonder they're always so mean.
Fangtail kind of snuggles up to Nori while on the ride.
Do you know what personal space is?
No.
Tallulah
I don't get
looks
paid
at,
enough for this.
Tallulah looks at Varus and she's like, if you do that to me, I'll punch you in the face.
Meanwhile,
No.
Keen up at the top of the carriage gets some fantastic views of the countryside, of other other carriages moving back. This is like not something Keen's probably ever seen before. Keen being used to like actual cars and lots and lots of people. There are a decent amount of people out here as you walk by, but compared to the big city where you guys are from, this is like a sedate village type traffic.
It's very rustic.
Yes. Eventually, as evening draws to a close, draws on as the day draws to a close and evening arrives, you finally make it to the capital, Fire Down, which is probably the size of a town, compared to you guys from Numlarn. There's still traffic on the streets, people going up and down the main thoroughfare. You see temples, which are probably the first time anyone here Fangtail has ever seen a temple before, because temples are banned in Imlarn due to the undead. But there are a lot of temples. You also have noticed more guards than might have been expected. At one point, they do stop your carriage, but as soon as they see that they have people from Imlarn on board, they let it go.
Hey guys, remember me? You came here like 3 weeks ago.
And you notice people being people in robes mostly being stopped and questioned.
I'm gonna eye Fangtail.
Oh, are you?
Like, what? Robes are being stopped. We have someone that has a robe-like get up in here. Are we gonna die?
It's
I mean, I'm not
fine.
wearing
If they
one.
try and do anything, I'll just stop them.
I
Keen
can
is
make
gonna
myself
try to
look like
ask
one of
the
them.
driver of the carriage about the security and the robed people.
The driver of the carriage turns around and kind of looks at the kobold sitting on top of the carriage and says, well, the king recently outlawed all forms of necromancy due to the attacks, and has been anyone with wizardy skills that would potentially be a necromancer is to be questioned immediately, and anyone found to possess necromancy skills is to be arrested until this crisis is over.
What crisis are you
None of you
speaking
guys
of?
are necromancers, right?
What? I mean, that's to be seen. But what
If
kind of
you're-
crisis are you speaking of?
Was anyone else saying something?
If you listen to Varus's flute playing, I mean, it's kind of the opposite of necromancy.
It's bad enough it'll raise the dead.
Well, the attacks in the south, they've all been utilizing skeletons. It's got everybody terrified of necromancers.
Huh?
I mean, hey, I've taken on a couple of skeletons. They're not too bad.
Do skeletons have ears?
No.
Not to my knowledge.
Oh, okay.
They're made
Yeah.
of bones. Do they have
Yeah.
Do they still have the ear bones inside their skull? If they can vibrate an ear bone, they can hear, right?
I mean,
I don't know. I don't know anything about ear bones. And you see the Keen. You see the Minotaur kind of like brushing up.
Am I making his ears bleed?
No, but he's currently patting at his ears like in confusion.
Oh, I think I just accidentally disconnected myself. Hold on.
minor illusion. Oh no.
Oh, fuck.
What are you trying to do? Minor illusion.
I make blood look like it's coming out of the Minotaur's ears.
Oh no!
All right, so that'd be something Keen would see, but the Minotaur driver wouldn't.
God, why?
Keen kind of like grimaces, and I don't know if he realizes it's a.
Yeah, that would be that would be an intelligence check.
Well, like was it an insight or a straight intelligence?
Investigation, actually.
Yeah, it's investigation against my spell save DC.
Oh, you quickly realize that's an illusion. The blood's not moving.
Would Fangtail see this?
No, the rest of you guys are inside the carriage. Varys is
Right.
kind of leaning out and looking at the Minotaur. Keen is the only one on top of the carriage, actually staring directly at the Minotaur.
Keen kind of like scowls at Varys, I guess, or whoever. I'm assuming it's him that cast the spell.
Yeah.
I kind of put my hand out and wave.
I'm just gonna grab him by the collar of his shirt and pull him back in.
I was just having a little bit of fun.
Stay.
We're here to
self-care.
work, not have fun.
Why can't we have both?
The
Speaking of
quicker we get
fun,
the job done, the quicker we get to go back to your precious air conditioning.
I'd rather
yeah.
get paid sooner rather than later.
Fangtail, question.
yes.
Do cats fly?
No.
You might be the first flying cat if you don't shut up.
Oh.
Tallulah's very uneasy. She is not as meek as she was at the office.
We just need to get her out of her shell.
God damn it.
Hmm.
She does not like being here.
I mean, I'm pretty good at landing on my feet. I'll be quiet.
So, as you pass by, Keen, while the others are inside the carriage, not really able to. I'm hearing a lot of typing again, by the way, guys. Thanks. As you're passing Keen, you notice this, but the other members of your party probably wouldn't because they're inside they're inside the carriage and looking at each other basically. You see passing by the streets minotaurs, humans, dwarves, elves, halflings, here and there an orc, um, a few people that appear to have goat's legs, which probably haven't seen in Imlarin either, and another creature that you haven't seen in Imlarin. You see one or two canine-looking folk.
Keena's just kind of taking it all in and just like filing, mostly thinking about the necromancy stuff, but filing away the different folk of this area.
I look over at Tallulah. So how are your kind made? Like, did one person far long time ago, you know, do it with a turtle, and that's how you were made?
Tallulah just like looks at him, like
When a man loves a turtle.
Oh God! Now I'm thinking of a scene from Authors and Dragons.
oh god. And Tallulah's like, well, I don't know. How'd they make you? Did someone do it with a broken flute?
That was a good one. Tallulah, I'm giving you inspiration for that.
So wait,
Use
maybe
it
I might
this
actually
time.
use it this time.
Well, do you want the full backstory on Drow?
No, not really.
No.
I mean, I'd be interested.
We're here. The Minotaur driver announces, stopping the carriage in
finally.
front of the castle.
That was the longest ride I've ever been on.
Too long.
And it was very slow compared to any car or train that you've ever been on.
We need to get this done fast. I don't know if I can stick around with Flute Boy.
I totally agree.
He is a bit of a blowhard.
More like a blowout.
God damn it, you guys! This is...
And the pun
Much
wars
like his
continue.
playing, I feel like that one was a little flat.
Poor Caleb.
God.
Ha! Caleb gets to be on the other end of Tallulah's nagging this time.
What goes around comes around, man.
All right. You find yourselves at the front door of the castle. Several guards, look you guys over, look at the transport, and nod and open the doors and announce, "Party from Lauren has arrived," and allow you guys in. Oh, I forgot I had dynamic lighting in this place. 1 second. And they open the doors for you guys, allowing you inside. And you hear like some horns being played.
But have I ever been in this area before?
In this castle, definitely not. In this particular city, in the capital, roll a history check. Let's see.
Well, history.
Why do I feel like Nori and I are having a very slow race? Don't you know the turtle wins?
You seem to recall at least
This
one
is a hairy situation.
at least one time getting into the capital.
Okay. So I know this area a little bit. Okay.
A
enough.
little bit, but you've never been inside the castle. The Minotaurs up ahead just kind of urge you guys along, saying, "The king is expecting you." Alternatively, I can also just drag and drop all of you guys if you want.
That works.
Yeah.
Unless Nori wants to finish out this race.
Alright. You guys make it into the throne room, where there is a large minotaur sitting upon a throne. Surrounding him are tapestries along the walls and various banners, red and black with a bull's head, rather a minotaur's head, uh, on top of them. Uh, as you've been walking by, actually no, you wouldn't have heard that from there. Sorry. As you guys enter, he stands. Nearby him is also another minotaur, an elderly-looking one, slightly bent and with a broken horn, kind of watching you guys. The king, who does appear a bit young, not young as in child, but young compared to the other minotaur in the room. He looks like youngish, but adult enough. I'm like, finally, I've been waiting. And he kind of like runs his eyes over you and stops on Fangtail for a moment, just kind of looking you up and down. Then turns his gaze to the rest of the party. So, you're the ones that were sent. Very well. There has been a situation that threatens to not only delay the building of this railroad, but possibly have a war starting in my country. There's been attacks for the last 2 weeks, which being one real quick rundown on time here on Ollaras. 2 weeks is each week on Ollaras by this calendar is 10 days. So that means this has been going on for at least 20 days.
And how long did it take us to get here on the steamship?
It probably took you about a day to get here on the steamship. Steamships do move pretty quickly, and they have the particular sea that they were traveling mapped out pretty well. So it'd probably only taken a day. So it's been 2 weeks since the attacks have started, and my people are running scared. Several villages have been completely destroyed in the south, and refugees are already flooding in past the old wall into the northern section of the country looking for safety. We don't know who's causing this. So far, the most thing prudent is that whoever's causing this has hired necromancers somewhere inside the country itself to worry us. Most likely because of the railroad. It's also possible this is the act of a separatist group trying to build a wedge and keep us from becoming more prosperous. I don't see why, though, because the southern part of my country is poised to become quite a hub for your people. And he looks over the lot of you, since that is where the first entry of the railroad will be. There's also other possibilities. Dissatisfied groups in Titral. Perhaps they are finding a way of getting the undead to rise and sending them against my people. Or maybe even those druids over in Galora to the west. Though I've heard that they don't usually like dealing with the undead. Who knows? I don't really trust them. What I would like from you, and he looks again over the group of you and lets his eyes linger again on Fangtail.
Waves.
Is
There's something in my bag.
as I would like for you to discover the identities of the ones damaging and harassing my people and destroying villages to the south. That way we know who the enemy is.
I'm not trying to be rude here, but this sounds like a giant conspiracy theory.
What's a conspiracy theory?
Pardon
Noise face
him.
palming.
Pardon him. He took one bad flute note to the ear.
Didn't we all?
Some of us were affected more than others.
I'd like to point out, Varys, that once the undead start rising, it's no longer a conspiracy. It's an attack. Let him continue.
Be that as it may, I would like this found quickly before I have to enact new measures, which might include the cancellation of the railroad project. For that matter, I think another 2 weeks is a good time period to get this sorted out.
But if I may speak, I don't know much about these attacks, but do you know whereabouts they're coming from? Might help them.
The king kind of waves a hand out. It's all happening in the south. That is where you should focus your investigation. And then he turns towards the Minotaur with the broken horn. Chancellor, you can talk to them more and give them whatever else they need. The broken horned Minotaur kind of nods. Ah, yes, indeed. If you would all follow me, I think we'd be more comfortable speaking in my office for a bit, and leave His Highness to think here.
All right, lead the way.
Wait for me!
My screen is like super laggy.
That's okay.
I might refresh, see if that helps, hopefully. Like, moving the screen around and moving my character around, it's like, ugh.
There we go. Got all you guys in there. So the Chancellor takes you into his office. It's nicely appointed. It has a nice desk, well set for a Minotaur, which means it's huge compared to Keen, but probably about just right for Tallulah. It doesn't have anything like electronic on it the way you guys have seen desks before, but you definitely can see that it's like fine wood on the desk and plenty of bookshelves crammed with books and a few weird knickknacks.
No,
He settles
it's
himself
not
behind a chair and pulls out what looks like some kind of amulet, some kind of stone on the end of a chain, and looks around at the group of you. Which of you is in charge?
That would seem to be me.
All right, and he hands you the amulet. This is a sending stone that will be able to send right back to me about your progress and let me know. There's a lot of background noise again, guys. And let me know immediately if you have found something. That way I can instantly tell the king. That way you won't have to worry about traveling back once you've found proof. You'll be able to tell us that you found something. And, well, you'll have time to travel back. That way, if it takes longer than the 2 weeks, you will be fine, as long as you've told us.
Will do.
Now, is there any questions you have for me?
Do you, other than just broadly south, do you have any specific locations that might aid us in finding out who's responsible?
Sadly, no. That is part of the problem. They've come all along the south, both from along the sides of the east and west border. The far south, of course, is the mountains. The mountains are pretty much impassable. No one has ever been able to get across them, and there's no known paths under them, at least not in this region. So most likely somewhere in the east and west, or what disturbs me most, there's a good chance it could be from a faction inside of our own country. There's been... I guess I was naive to believe that ever since the Golden Age began, when after slavery was abolished, that people would be more happy, more content. But in the last few decades, there has been a growing movement of separatists in the south that want to form their own country from the country that once belonged to the people that well, he says, I don't know how much of our history you are aware of.
I know a little bit.
Do you guys know what libertarians are?
I'm unaware of that word.
Well, basically, leave the government out of everything. Let them break off if they want. Why not? You know?
This king
Anyway,
does not look like one to fail his people.
Well, considering that King literally fought to be where he is.
the chancellor nods. Ah, so you are aware of some of our ways. Yes, every king fights to the death alongside their chosen people, in order to gain the throne. No one is born into office or anything of that matter. They have to show the willingness to potentially die for the chance to be king, to lead the country. And they have to have
If I
people.
may ask.
In order to do that, they have to have people supporting them, who are also willing to die, or if like. And when he says that, he reaches up and rubs the missing horn.
If I may ask, while we don't have much to go on initially, any idea of where the attacks have been most concentrated? Whether they've happened most often or the biggest force?
All of the attacks so far have happened below the old wall. The further south, past midpoint. That's a town. He says, looking at the expressions on your faces.
How developed is that area?
Well, midpoint is fairly well developed, but a lot of the other areas south of that, mostly farms. There are some forest villages that rely on hunting and gathering still, and mild logging and leatherworks and such. But in terms of developed, not as much as up here. No.
So they're attacking your food supply.
Yes, that is the other concern. Now, normally, it's like the only attacks we'd ever have to worry about is the occasional tribe of orcs that decides it wishes to attack the farms. But even them, even they tend to only do it for their own survival. They don't do it just to destroy things.
I guess.
Well, let's get to it, shall we?
Well, Keen would ask if he has a map and could show where the most recent attacks would have occurred.
Of course. And he brings out a map. Give me 1 second.
I assume is he going to place it on a desk?
He's gonna pull it out and place it on the desk.
I mean, I'm imagining Keen would have probably crawled up under the edge of the desk so he could be part of the conversation, since like everything is so big.
So do you guys see this map?
Yes.
Yep.
I
Yes.
see in red writing. Oh, map's loading in. Ignore me.
Yeah.
That
Sweet.
huge map.
That is a nice looking map.
Yeah, it is.
Just to make sure though, does everyone else see little white bits around the bottom edge?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure it wasn't still moving. I'm guessing that's like the mountains or places.
No,
that
that's
are
that's
outside
that's
of
the that's the elimination of the country borders. I've only
Okay.
this is only showing up the country itself.
Yeah. That's what I mean. So that's like either the mountains or the borders, anywhere where Hellspring ends.
Yeah.
Be right back. I gotta see what dog is barking your head off.
Where are we at in
Oh,
relation
yeah.
to this
And
map?
looking at the map, I just
We'll be
realized
here.
that you actually spent 2 days on that carriage, not one.
Oh,
God.
God, that's worse.
At least Nori and Tallulah.
It was a very, very fast carriage, by the way. It wasn't slow.
2 days is still 2 days.
Yeah.
But considering the distance,
Yeah, most draft horses can only can. I mean, this was on the Rhino, so this managed to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 squares a day. So you were 2 full days on that carriage. My bad.
Oh fuck.
I completely forgot about the distances on this map. My apologies.
Or as Marilyn would say, oh fuck.
But as you can see, midpoint is down here. He gestures to it. And makes you note like there's these the old ruins of the wall. It says most of the attacks have been like around here, some down here, and along like the border edges between Glora over there and Titrel over there. But that's been like having the survivors like run up towards midpoint and beyond that. So far, he says there haven't been any attacks in midpoint. It's all been south of that.
I have one more question in regards to the attacks.
Yes.
Do they seem to be advancing or going on a particular line? Maybe we can head it off.
No, that's the sad point. They all seem to be random. I've spent some time plotting where the attacks are coming from, just to see if I could figure out where they might be originating from, and maybe where they're going. But it all seems so random, as if multiple people are taking advantage of it. That's why the king ordered the necromancers arrested. It's entirely possible that that one group is the real threat, and other smaller factions have started trouble amid it.
Like vultures.
Yes.
Well, no time like the present.
Can you bring me?
Yeah. Do you have a copy of this map?
I have a simple one, I believe. Let me look at my handouts. Sure. He gives you a copy of the map. Unfortunately, I do not have one in handouts because I don't know how to. This is one that I did with the actual Roll20 mapping
That's fine.
stuff, and unfortunately, I can't make a copy of it, which is why I keep having to save this to developer, so that I don't lose
fine.
it.
I just want to make sure Nori gets a copy.
And one
Yeah.
final question.
Yes.
While we are working to assist you, we are guests. Are there any
Yes.
customs or rules we should know about? Avoid any trouble?
Well, at the moment, do not do any displays of necromancy if you happen to know necromancy. I am aware that necromancy is common is used in over in Umlarin, and so that it's not something foreign to your kind. But for now, no use of necromancy will be permitted.
If I may ask, what about revival? Proper revival.
Oh, that is quite different. That the temples can do that if you need help, and if you have
I
enough
just
money.
want to make sure.
Alright, I think we're ready to head off.
So what's plan? Go to midpoint, look for fresh intel?
Go to midpoint, see if we can. Yep, go to midpoint, see if we can get any recent updates on known attacks, and go from there.
Is that like another day's journey? Or 2
Uh,
days?
It's actually a couple days journey. In fact, I think you had to leave before I could finish saying that. I realized looking at the map that it was actually 2 full days to get here from on carriage. So
So
you're
we're
actually
gonna-
on that
Keen is gonna
carriage.
give Nori puppy dog eyes and be like, "Can we dinner first? Not
Actually-
carriage food."
Actually,
Okay,
the
yeah,
chancellor says, I taken the liberty to secure a room for you at the inn for tonight. I know you've been
Oh.
traveling for a couple of days.
Thank you.
Tallulah raises her hand and she's like, Can we take 2 carriages?
Uh, your
Please?
transportation needs, unfortunately, you will have to get to the stables about that. The carriage driver was just bringing you down here from the port.
I'm gonna look at Varus and say, You're walking.
Oh, can we just get horses instead? And I don't know what a turtle would ride.
Oh,
Something
Or
really
we could
big.
just buy a candle, melt it, and plug it up.
Please tell me you're talking about the flute and not something else.
No, the flute.
Okay.
but we can think about that after we've had a rest
And dinner.
and dinner. Yes.
Yep.
To the inn we go.
That's a go.
Wherever the inn is.
All right. So after the chancellor bids you guys good night, and you leave the office. Let's see what I have here for you. You're basically out in the city, and you see that he says the inn is on the western side of the street, just here on Main. Just keep going down. You'll see it near the gates to the to the upper city. You can't miss it. And he sends you on your way.
Are the streets busy?
They're winding down because there's a lot of people going into sleep and all that.
Basically, would Keen have to be worried? Would we have to worry about Keen being stepped on?
No, actually, another race that I forgot to mention as you guys are in and walking around, is you do happen to see things like you do happen to see things like gnomes as well. So there are small folk in in this region. So
I'm gonna start making my way to the inn.
Yeah, let's go
Alright.
to the end.
and I
I
found
will
the
follow.
innkeeper and made sure to delete all old pictures. They're on this part.
Here, gang.
Yeah, Varus is going to be walking very silently, and once they reach the inn, he's just gonna go up to the innkeeper. And
Now
get his
please,
key to his
please
room.
note that that's the that the map is that this particular map is not what am I trying to say? It is not to scale. It's just basically showing a couple of buildings put together, easier to look down at. I just figured that you have something like this. There's an inn and there's a tavern, which is actually not quite across the street. It's like at a diagonal from the inn, but they're not attached to each other. So you've got like the tavern over here in case you want that, and then there's the regular inn. As you get into the inn, you see that there is a female minotaur behind the counter, and she smiles as you guys enter in. Ah, welcome. Oh, hello there, little one. And she looks down at Keen.
He looks to see if there's any like gnome-sized bar stools with like little ladders that he can climb up.
I'll just pick him up and put him on my shoulder.
And she smiles. And she looks like she's about to say something and looks you guys up and down and goes, "Oh, are you coming from Imlarn?"
Yes, we are.
Ah, excellent. She kind of like opens up a book in front of her and brings down a name. Yes, I was told to hold rooms for you from the Chancellor.
Yes, we heard as much.
Uh,
Is there a problem?
Now,
rooms. I wasn't, with the group when they came here, so to speak.
I wasn't
It's
told how
okay.
many people would
You'll
actually
sleep with
be
Varys.
would actually be coming, so I took
So
the
how-
liberty to, since there's nobody else at the inn at the moment. The last person checked out earlier. No one checked in else tonight. I had the liberty of holding the entire place. After all, it is for the
Ah.
kingdom.
Thank you.
I get a room to myself.
Now, if you're
why
looking
don't you
for,
sleep with Nori?
if you're looking
Yeah, you seem
No.
like him.
for,
Curl up
food-
at the foot of his bed.
I just want
I
to
mean-
relax.
I mean, if Nori wants to.
Kind of nudges him a little bit.
Listen, I need some peace and quiet after the cart ride here.
Are you sure? There's dead wandering about.
Dead.
I'd rather deal with
how-
dead than with
Oh.
the flute.
Yes, well, I've been hearing that there've been attacks in the south, but that's maybe a few hundred miles away.
I would
Just
hope they haven't
saying.
gotten up here yet.
Safe here.
I look at Keen on my shoulder. I said, "What do you think, Keen? Should we go see what's for dinner?"
Keen nods like excitedly.
So now this turtle is walking away with a cobalt on her shoulders.
That's so cute.
That's
I
very
feel
nice.
oddly like Zerk right now. Huh. And I'm gonna run back and say, Nori,
Yes.
can I get some money?
I was gonna say, is our tab covered too, or
Is it?
Well, the tavern is not part of my establishment. It's across the street, and she kind of like gestures and points kind of the northeasterly. As you can see, it's right over there, and you guys can look over and see that there's like a lot of the other buildings, like a lot of the other establishments on the street. The lights are coming off. There's just like street lights now. That place, though, clearly a lot of light, and there appears to be laughter coming from that direction.
I mean, we're all going to go get dinner, are we not?
Keen is like practically bouncing with like yes.
And
Don't
Tallulah
worry,
can feel
Nori.
it like on her shell, so she's trying to like keep him calm.
Don't worry, Nori. I'll pay for your dinner with that gold piece you gave me.
No, I have money to pay for dinner. For the group.
Am I part of the group?
Kind of looks kind of concerned and a little bit.
Oh, you're our guide, so I would have to assume at the moment, yes.
Fucking bright eyes, fucking flickers, and then goes in for a hug.
Yes, yes, yes!
No hugs.
Tallulah looks at Varys. Come on, let's go get a drink.
He just kind of shrugs his shoulders like, okay.
Maybe you can practice your flute playing.
Or is begging.
Or both.
Can you play flute after we eat so no get kicked out before food?
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'm with Pipsqueak here.
Fucking love it how you just keep on digging his grave lower and lower.
I just hope we don't lose our dinner.
Yeah, but I also feel like this is how Storm, Caleb, Grizz, and I always are. We find one person, hone in on them.
And then we do the chicken dance to make the sun go away.
Does it help if you're an actual chicken, though?
Oh. Can you do the chicken dance better as a chicken?
I don't know, but I honestly don't give a cluck.
Oh my fucking god.
I'm sorry.
We make our way to the tavern to get
I'm
dinner.
sorry. I'm sorry. Sorry. I don't. I'll smack him later.
So that's just to the northeast of that place, and you find a rather vibrant tavern, with a whole bunch of different people inside. Humans, minotaurs. There's a behind the bar. However, you notice there is a halfling standing on some kind of support system, and there are two more halflings nearby. They appear to be three more halflings nearby, all on lutes, playing music.
Oh fuck.
Are they at least better than what we've heard before?
There is also a half-orc standing nearby, eyeing you as you come in. And you can see a elf woman, and yes, they do sound a lot better than than Varus's attempt in the carriage ride. And there's also an elf woman carrying drinks to and fro, looking to be a barmaid.
What's the general armament of the populace? Is this are people open carrying weapons at all, or
Yeah. There some people have a sword on their back or a noticeable crossbow at their side.
I mean, I would assume that where we're from, people aren't visibly packing.
Yeah, people aren't visually packing where you're from. In fact, there's even laws against holy symbols where you're from being openly worn. You have to have a license to have one in Umlarn. And it has to be carried underneath your clothes if you're licensed. But here, you even see the occasional person walking down the street, which is probably again a foreign concept to the rest of you, of somebody with a holy symbol on their neck just walking right by, clearly visible. Currently, you have some. You basically got some requisition gold, and we have that in your inventory. And
So that would be what.
whoever whispered to me, the answer is
background
yes.
goal is?
So yes, that would also be your background gold. But Nori was also given an extra 100 gold. But basically, think of the gold that you have in your inventory, your starting inventory, the money you decided to go to the bank before you left on your trip and get converted into foreign currency from your own stash.
Okay, just wondering.
So that is your money. The money that Nori was given is company money.
Yeah, we should spend all the company money before we start spending our own money.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
We can spend all of Varus's money first.
I'd say we could get him to
I
play
only
us
say
for a
that
free
because-
dinner, but I don't know.
Okay.
I won't think Varus because Varus is the only one here that has a potentially reliable source of income while we're gone.
At the moment, by the way, guys, it is the 7th of feasting, which is the fall month. By the Eberus calendar, there are 4 months. Each of them corresponds to a season. That would be renewal, divine, feasting, and quair. Also known as spring, summer, fall, and winter. They each has 90 days. Each week is 10 days, so 9 weeks per month.
And Grizz, just for my understanding, I'm guessing that's the reason why winter is called Quair, since the Quair is the
death.
goddess of death in your world.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Tula goes to find a seat.
And the way that I have the seasons organized, it's the start of the season. So so instead of in the middle of a month, the way that we have our seasons organized, right at the moment because of things changing, the first of feasting is definitely the first day of fall. So it's been 7 days since the first, it's 6 days since the first day of fall. So 7th. But yeah, so
Nori's gonna go order everyone dinner.
I will follow.
You go find us. Go with the turtle
Yeah, but
and
you're
find
not-
a seat.
yep. You're not around
Yeah,
here, so
she would have been good. She would have been good for this campaign, Keen.
Hey, Grizz,
I liked
did
her.
you get my message?
Yes, I did. That's why I said yes to that question you asked me.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I mean, you're not from around here. What do you? How would you not know what to order and all that?
Keen wants to know if they have craft beers.
I hate that
The-
you have a point.
The halfling bartender looks over at the kobold, who's most likely probably on a halfling or gnome chair at this point, um, and says,
Like, we got beer and we got beer.
well, we do have some local brewery. We have stuff that's catered for that is cultivated mainly for our halfling and gnome clientele. I imagine it would be good for your body size as well. And we have another one which is more towards the minotaur type. Kind of glancing over towards one of the minotaurs who's sitting at a chair. So, what can I get you? Are there any dwarves currently in residence here? Let's see.
I still haven't seen another tabaxi around, have I?
No, tabaxi are not really known here. Like, you're like an oddity.
God
But
damn it,
if
dear.
I seen
What?
a tabaxi, would I know about him? Maybe.
In this country? Possibly, because they are very rare.
Yeah. Cool. I'd say I'd be like at least friends with one of them that's out adventuring or some shit like that.
Yes, if you see a tabaxi, you most likely have met them. We'll see.
Oh, slept with him. Hey,
There it is.
I'm sorry.
So, yeah, there is a dwarf sitting at one of the tables, calmly smoking a pipe and drinking a rather large goblet.
I mean, I guess Keen would order a beer and whatever is like the special.
Special. And the halfling
Like, what-
leans forward a bit and whispers, "What? So, tell me, do you like rat?"
What? What?
Keen's like, I ate a bit of rat when I was living on the streets. It's a little gamey.
Well, we have a nice special meat stew that you might enjoy.
Keen
That's
kind
what
of shrugs and says, I'll give it a shot.
All right. Let's see for that.
Did anyone else hear that in the tone of your funeral?
She
So-
said that it was special meat stew, so it could be good.
So
I
that'll be
doubt that.
2 silver for the beer and the meal.
I'll hand over.
And the halfling looks over at Tallulah and goes, "What's Dwarfman's Tar? I've never heard of that drink."
That was out of character.
Oh, sorry.
It's like, but I'm guessing the strongest, dankest beer that you have.
Puts people in barrels.
Yep. Yep.
She should have just put it in the dwarf and be like, I have what he's having, because you know they're always gonna be drinking the quote unquote good stuff.
Do you happen to have any wine here?
Yes, we do have have like 2 bottles. Not too much. This isn't the fanciest of taverns, but do keep some on hand.
Well, I would like some wine, please.
Uh, red or white?
Red wine, please.
The
Have what he's having.
the bartender goes to the back and gets a bottle of wine, and one of those they actually do have a wine glass, and manages to pour it in and sits it in front of you.
Is it
Thank you.
clean, or was it?
What?
That's a good question.
Oh, come on.
Roll an investigation check.
Oh boy.
Uh,
There's like lipstick on it.
I'd like to point out that you're gonna roll anyway. You take a
I don't know
chance.
what it is.
It has a fingerprint on the side of it.
On the
I
inside?
just-
Oh,
I just
well, on the
handed
outside,
to-
thankfully.
I just hand it to, Fangtail. Here. Does Fangtail drink the wine?
Yes, Fangtail will drink the wine.
Tallulah makes her way up to the bar. Do you have anything that, I don't know, that's like lettuce
Lettuce.
or kale?
I have cabbage. Would that do?
I'll take it.
He goes back and brings out.
How many cabbages do you have?
Entire cabbages.
When I tell you I want the cabbage, I mean all the cabbage.
I only have one head of cabbage left. I used some in the stew earlier.
Do you have any potatoes?
Fresh out.
How about carrots?
Yeah, you have any carrots?
I think she's trying to get at that she's a vegetarian. Do you have anything for her
No,
sensibilities?
I don't have any carrots at the moment. And he sets
I'll take one head of cabbage.
he sets the cabbage down there, and gives Keen the freshly ladled stew as well,
Tallulah just kind of looks at her cabbage and
and puts
In
a loaf of
disappointment.
and puts a loaf of a small loaf of bread on the counter for all of you.
you just see Tallulah pick up this head of cabbage and eat it like an apple.
5 copper, please.
Here. I hand over 5 copper.
So let's see. Those guys are playing in the corner. 20. All right. The playing's pretty good.
At least it's not a train wreck like the last flute I heard.
He could get better.
I hope so. For our sake.
But that's not Varus, it's the halflings, right?
Yeah, that's the 3 halflings that they're playing.
Yeah,
Their
the halflings are
their
actually
loops.
good. Decent at least.
Keen is so gonna blog about this place when he gets back. He wishes he had his cell phone so he could like take like, you know, food shots of his food.
I mean, your phones don't work here. Like,
The-
this is out of character.
They
but
don't
you can
work.
still
They don't
pick up
work
a user.
as phones. And there's no way of powering them up. But
I mean, one of
But
us could have
you
bought
could-
one of those little stoves that acts as a charger.
yeah, you could still have it technically on you and take a picture here and there. You just have to be very careful with your power supply.
Why do I have a pet mouse in my inventory?
I think it's because you're a rogue and that's just what was it, an urchin? That's like the urchin background.
Yep, you get a pet mouse.
That's weird.
Or a rat named Nymphthis if you're a certain tabaxi.
I guess I should feed it.
Or you go through 3 rats in one campaign.
Yeah, Ralthor lost his rat.
Hello.
And it's replaced with a bat.
No, not just Ralthor.
Oh,
Also,
yeah.
Jing.
Jesse keeps leaving
Oh,
rats.
He's losing his rats too. Well, the bat
See,
made it through.
Look, did you get your rat's armor?
Rat armor.
Yeah,
You think I'm kidding, I'm not.
Nimbus had armor and survived the entire campaign. My character did
I'm
not
not
survive that
kidding.
campaign.
We shame you not. The rat ended the game with 20 AC.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Okay, so Keen is arranging his beer and his food and his bowl of soup just right, and like snapping a cell phone picture of it.
Kel
the
would
halfling is
like
just
to attempt. Sorry, go ahead.
the bartender is just staring at Keen and going, "What is that?"
Pardon him, he has no
Fang
memory.
would also be, eyeing it down.
Keen, don't you think you should at least save some battery
That looks
instead of
pretty.
using it to take photos of food?
So Keen, I'm gonna have you roll me a 1d100.
See, can I do that? Oh, I can do that from
Accidentally
here.
drop it into the soup.
Oh no.
No. You look at the little indicator on your phone and realize you only have 27% charge left. Please make a note of that on your character sheet somewhere.
Keen sighs and like powers it off as soon as he's done taking the picture.
Tallulah has now finished her head of cabbage, and she is just asking the bartender, like, are there any markets around that I could get, I don't know, more cabbage?
Hmm.
Or lettuce? Strawberries?
Maybe an apple.
An apple? Carrots?
Well, there are the open markets, but I imagine that's closed at this hour. Maybe in the morning?
She looks down at her stomach. We won't make it to morning. Do you have any soup without the meat in it?
Well, I could fish the chunks of meat out, but it's still a meat broth.
Keen points at the beer and says, "Beer's made of plants."
Tallulah just looks at him like, sweet, sweet child.
You could always drink your dinner.
Do you have any pie?
Pie.
This bitch comes back and says meat pie, I'm done.
Ah, yes, I have a lovely strawberry pie.
I'll take the whole pie.
Well, it's kind of pricey for a whole pie.
Whole pie.
Two gold?
We're not gonna last with this amount of spending here.
We're not gonna last
Tallulah
till
holds up
morning.
her hand. I got it, don't worry.
No, might as well use the company money.
And the little halfling, looks at the barmaid, and she's the one that actually goes back there and brings out a fully intact pie that smells of strawberries, and hands it over
What's
to
the circumference
Tallulah.
approximately? How
Uh,
big of a...
it's one of those 9-inch pies.
Okay, so a very typical pie.
Yes.
Which Tallulah probably eats in 2 bites because she's big, right?
She
She's a
actually
turtle.
likes to savor her food, so she will eat it in like maybe 4 bites.
You like
Slice
plenty
it
of food, so
and then
just
just
double.
shove it.
So she's gonna walk out while she's eating her pie over to Varus and be like,
Varus, you don't actually see Varus. That's why I put his token there. Sorry,
oh, okay.
because
Never mind.
you notice that he's not in the tavern as you look around for him.
Eh,
fact-
not my problem.
In fact, yeah, you don't see any drow, any elves in the tavern.
Is that orc still eyeing us?
The half orc, yeah, is standing by the door and watching you carefully.
I'll turn to the bartender. That half orc. He a guard
Oh.
for you guys?
Yeah, he's our bouncer.
Just making sure. We're a little short on information and we made it to ask around. But thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, they're not from around here.
I'm
Are
sure
you
he could have.
I mean, you never know.
That's always a good plan, Keen.
So Tallulah has finished her pie, but she is now licking the pie tin. Dear, imagine me eating my salad earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine me eating like a normal person. Basically.
So the
I mean,
opposite.
You
of
know
that.
normal people?
Who doesn't
Good thing we're
lick
safe
the
then.
pie dish? Who doesn't lick the pie dish is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
People that don't really eat pies.
Are they even human then?
Well, the only pies I really like are like pumpkin pie, and there's nothing really to lick.
You like the apple pie I make?
I make apple pie, pumpkin pie. I enjoy pies.
Pie. I like
So Tallulah now like looks down at her stomach and she's like, "It's okay, buddy. We'll make it. We'll make it." She's like 400 pounds. Like she needs to eat.
Yeah, I know.
So, is Kel getting anything to eat, or is he just gonna be standing there watching this entire thing?
Kill would get something to eat, but considering it's just food, I didn't want to interrupt the role play just to get some food. He would literally just get whatever's on offer.
And
Right.
I'll pay for it.
Rat stew.
Yeah.
Rat stew.
So basically, you're paying 2 silvers for rat stew and a beer.
Works for me. Kel is not the kind of person that's picky. He just, if it has calories, he'll shove it in his face.
Tallulah's not picky either. As long as it's vegetable or fruit.
I'd like to point out that there are types of turtles that eat fish.
Yep.
I know. It's just a preference. Like she's not completely vegetarian. She just kind of goes off of how she feels that day.
What kind of cat food?
Just any kind.
Wow.
I soaked kibble sometimes, or gave her like wet cat food. It was a treat though.
Ah.
Well,
Yeah, unfortunately, one of my cats is allergic to fish protein, so I can only feed my cats chicken-based cat food, not the very tasty fish-based ones.
My cat likes to eat lettuce and broccoli and potatoes.
My cat likes beef jerky. Absolutely fucking loves beef jerky.
Oh, and then Apache loves the stuffing out of beds. Asshole.
Bree has been gutting all of her toys lately. Like she
Oh,
wasn't,
God.
and then all of a sudden, like as soon as she turned a year old, she just started like there's fluff on the floor every day.
Ugh.
No, he no longer gets toys, beds, blankets, anything. I'm half
He hasn't
tempted
eaten
to
your
do that.
couch yet, has he? Because my friend has a Shiba, and he ate the couch. Like he dug the fluff out of the couch.
No, I mean this is the first thing he's torn up. Like that's not toy related. Like this is the first thing he's eaten, and he's 5.
Hmm.
He has got a wild hair up his ass, and now he regrets it because the hair has to come out.
Ew.
So we're not out of the woods yet, but hopefully it'll pass.
Yeah, basically, unless it's something that dissolves and turns into poison, and acid, or stomach acid, or is pointy, it'll eventually pass through a system.
Well, it's
Or magnetic, or magnetic or battery related. Those are the things you always have to worry about.
It's very stringy cotton.
So it can twist his intestines.
Yes.
Oh, so yeah,
that
then that is bad. Then it's like it's like hair ties with cats. That can be very
Yeah.
bad.
But I mean, he seems okay now. He went and got follow-up X-rays and more fluids today. So
My dog got pot once. Not sure how.
I worked at a vet clinic for a long time. It was an emergency clinic, and I saw pot dogs all the time.
Yeah, we were scared to death because we had no idea what she'd gotten, and we thought she was gonna die. And the vet walked in and was like, "Oh, she's just high."
Yeah. You walk, you know it, like you see it one time. Pot, crack. You see it one time, you know what it is.
Because she's like, yeah, she's acting. Because she was acting paranoid, and she was like pacing, and like, yeah, She was high.
So Pat, so high is not good for dogs.
Nope.
No.
And
Not
most of
bad.
the time when owners come in, they're like, I don't know what she got into. Come on.
No, we honestly don't have any of that in the house. She
No,
must
it's
have found it on a walk.
It's like the owners come in and they smell of it.
Yeah.
And you're like, come on, just let us know. We don't care. I'm not going to call anybody. We just want to treat your dog. They were fun, though. They always get off balance. I had one that was standing up, and then I was getting fluids for it, turned around, and it did one of those comedic where it just kind of burp and fall on its side. I was like, ah, shit.
Yeah, more intense than giving my cats catnip.
I haven't given my cat catnip.
Your cat is already hyper. You don't need to give your cat catnip.
I want to give it I want to get like the strongest catnip.
Get cat grass. Grow some cat grass.
Yeah, my cats love cat grass when I bring it home for them.
That's really good for their digestion.
Mm-hmm.
I think most of the cats that I've had haven't had the gene that makes them get high off of catnip. I think I've only had, like, out of all the cats we've had, only one that would actually get high.
I keep the catnip in one drawer. Anytime I open that drawer, because it has bunch of other stuff in it, both cats come running, waiting to see if I'm going to give them catnip.
Congratulations, you're raising a bunch of addicts.
I give it to them very sparingly. It's like, once a month, once every other month, that sort of thing. But they know it's in that drawer.
Does
I think
it
they
have
smell
any
it.
purpose other than giving us a laugh?
They enjoy it. It probably gives them euphoria or something like that.
But
But
dolphins and pufferfish.
yes.
I know. I was just wondering because, it
By
just
the
Well,
way-
and
seems
all the
random
animals that eat
we would
fermented
give-
fruit off the ground to get
Bears. Yeah.
Question: Are we still playing D&D? Or...
Yes, I'm
Sorry.
just, we're going to a sidetracked. I was also about to ask, see if Caleb has messaged anybody, because I messaged Caleb back a while ago and I haven't heard back from him.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I messaged you.
Oh.
Yeah, I messaged you back a while ago. I was asking you what you were doing.
Oh. I mean, I messaged you what I was doing.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand, so I messaged you back on Discord.
Things and stuff and stuff and things.
Did you get my latest one? Because it said sent on here.
I'm not
Already
seeing
shady bits
anything.
going on.
If you sent me something, I didn't see it.
Alright, here, I sent it again.
I'm just glad the flirtatious rogue didn't take notice of the bard. Otherwise, this would have been
Yeah,
a very interesting first
Varys
month.
is just not. Is just somewhere else. You don't know where he went. He probably slunk away and went somewhere.
That bard. I've already found my hunk of man.
Ah,
I've already
Nori does not
basically
like-
imprinted.
Nori
the
just
person
wants
you
to get his
actually
job done.
and the person you actually know in real life. Nice.
Like Nori doesn't care about anything other than getting job done.
Be
And
careful
how's
that
that
no one
working out for you?
So, you don't mind if I snuggle up
Separate
here?
beds and rooms.
I mean, I think Keen would just finish up his dinner and then go to bed.
Once everyone's finished eating, everything's paid for. Nori will be the last one to leave.
Glad for the
No,
business. The
Fang-
bartender waves at them.
Fang would probably be the last one to leave because she's gonna look to score. I guess you could say.
In
Since she's
what
got a very
sense?
paid for. Looking around, looking for anybody who may be single,
Well, there's
That's
usually
sitting
plenty
to
of
your left.
people hanging around. There's a Minotaur. There's some soldier-looking guy at a table. The Minotaur and the soldier-looking guy at the same table. There's a guy reading a book at another table. There's a dwarf sitting there eating with some foam in his beard from a drink. You're talking to the man that's reading?
Yep.
He puts a finger on his book and blinks up. Hi.
Hi. How's your night going?
Uh, Fine. Are you some kind of cat?
Yep. I am also known as a tabaxi.
Oh.
The name.
Oh. Well, I've never
Yeah, I
seen
noticed that there isn't really many tabaxis in this area.
You're definitely the first I've seen.
Oh, well, I'm glad that I was your first.
Oh my god.
The man's eyes just kind of go wide. He's a youngish looking man, black hair. I think he's got blue eyes. And just kind of some dark clothes on. So why exactly are you talking to me? Yeah, blue eyes, pale, kind of thin.
Just, kind of bored. Didn't really want to go to bed just yet.
Oh.
I ended up decided to go back to the inn across the
Well,
street.
Nori would wait for everyone to leave before he leaves.
Oh,
He's making sure people. Yeah, he's making sure everyone actually gets to where we need to be.
Oh, Nori cares about me.
Nori is hurting his cats, like literally hurting his cats.
Yeah, well, it was the cat that was trying to hurt him earlier.
Oh my god.
Depending on what they're into, may try to hurt him.
Nori's why
Really
he's
giving me
waiting
this
for why Nori's waiting for Tail to actually leave. He's just gonna order a beer.
I'm gonna try and sweet talk this person.
All right. Roll persuasion.
Oh, not charisma.
It's persuasion is charisma.
Is charisma.
Oh, it
It's just see.
Come on, it's been a year, dude.
I would expect you have proficiency on charisma.
Yeah. It's a 15. I'm trying to lay some moves down,
He kind of gives you a tight smile. Well, you are kind of different. I guess if you want to sit down for a bit, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just kind of studying.
Oh, what are you studying?
Just some history. I'm hearing a lot of echoes, by the way. Who's echoing? Oh, Jesse, you are.
Wait, what? How? Wait, how? What? How am I echoing? How am I echoing?
I don't know. But I could hear my
Shit,
voice
okay,
echoing through your speakers.
I think it's fine.
Hello?
Testing. Okay, it doesn't seem to be quite as bad as it was. Oh, nope, yes it is. I still hear me.
Why? I literally don't know why.
Sometimes it's just the precision of where you put your mic. Like even the slightest change can.
And if it could just be that your sensitivity is just slightly too high towards
Yeah,
picking
that.
I
up.
want to change sensitivity. Voice on video was got an. Is that better?
Testing. Yeah, I don't hear me anymore. Good.
Yay.
So, I mean, you can sit down if you want. I'm just studying some history.
What kind of history?
Taxidermy! Kel shouts from across the bar.
No, not taxidermy. I'm studying country history. About history of Hellspring.
Ooh, country boy are you? Hmm?
Well, I've lived here all my life, so yes.
I'm more of a what you would say traveler, I guess.
Hmm.
I like to travel places, see new faces. You're one of the pretty ones.
He
To
seems to blush slightly since he is very pale, so it's easy to tell that.
Tallulah
Well,
walks over to
thank you.
Nori. Sorry. So she walks over to Nori and she's like, "Should we stop her or maybe
You
leave
know,
her?"
I I don't know at this point. I
I
say we just
hear.
let her do what she wants.
Well, I hear cats come back when they get hungry, so I'm sure she'll come back to find you.
Yes, but I'm more hungry for some nori.
Especially since nori is a kind of something
Nori
edible.
Cacciatore.
That's all I could think of when I
there's
saw his
something
name.
to read off of nori.
I'm gonna walk over to this table. Uh,
He looks up
Oh,
from his
hey.
book. His eyes go wide. Am
Poor
I
guy.
dreaming right now?
what? You ain't never
No,
seen a turtle before?
No.
This is another one of my friends.
Hi.
They're not
Didn't
from
go that
around here.
far.
Oh, I never got your name. And he looks back at the tabaxi.
Oh, I ended up saying my name was Fang.
Okay.
Fang Tail.
I'm Jason.
Hey, Jason. What a
Jason, nice
beautiful
to meet you. Fang, are you gonna be long?
I don't know. He's talking about history, so maybe me and him could make a little bit of history.
His eyes
Please
just gonna
no.
go wide at that thought.
She
Uh.
Tallulah looks at Fang and she says, "Well, you know, you see Nori over there?
Yeah.
I think he's getting a bit jealous. We should go."
Just I just want to do one more question. And thank
Tallulah's
God you're here, Turtle. I don't even know you guys' names at the moment. Still. Anyway,
You had 2 days. You would have learned them probably.
okay. Anyway, Talu, since you're here, you'll be able to listen to this. Jason, have you heard anything about the skeletal incidents?
Oh, the attacks in the south. They're all the talk. Yeah, everyone's
Do
talking
you
about that.
know? Do you know anything specific about them? Anything that some people might not be talking about?
Like, wait, what? He looks flustered. Uh, I don't really know what you're getting at.
I'm just seeing if I could get some information, just because, my friends here, or, well, companions, I guess you could call them, we're kind of investigating it and hoping to put a stop to it, so...
Hmm. Well, that's a good thing. Um,
So any information would be greatly helpful.
Yeah.
he thinks for a moment. Uh, how long are you gonna be in town?
I think I'll be here for maybe early morning, and then we have to head out, I think.
Well, I can get some research done and maybe come talk to you in the morning about it. What do you say?
That sounds like a great idea.
Yes, thank you, Jason. Fang, we gotta go.
Okay.
I'm
Thanks
gonna,
for talking to you, Jason.
I'm gonna usher
Kinda.
Fang like.
If it gets
Just
bad
kind of...
forever,
I walk past Jason, kind of, hand on his shoulders and swiping away, kind of that little movement. Yeah. Hey, Nori.
Tallulah mouths to Nori like, "I'm sorry."
Yes, what?
Hey, Galen.
Good.
How's it hanging? Hmm?
Shift. Good.
Oh, yeah? It's hanging good, eh? So, I heard through the grapevine that you were kind of getting a little bit jealous.
Tallulah starts like trying to sneak out the door.
The
Roll a
two of them.
stealth
Nori.
check.
Nori stares at Tallulah. If he can find her.
Stealth check to Lula.
Ah.
And
Oh,
perception
no.
checks Nori. Yeah, you see Tallulah being very stealthy out the door.
Nori just stares as she leaves.
Well, and it's one of those things like she gets out the door and she like sprints off as fast as a turtle can run, which I don't think is very fast.
I think you got 25 or 20.
Hey, Cal, are you done here?
I'm thinking so.
Alright, well, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go to bed now.
Yeah, you want any company?
No, I'm fine, thanks.
She can keep feet warm.
Yeah, I'm pretty. I could also. I'm guessing tabaxis compare, right?
I'll let you. I would like to think so.
I could also be like a little massage for you.
Oh no.
I can make good vibrations, if you know what I mean.
Oh my god.
What? Why did you tell her that I was getting jealous?
Yes,
I'm
you
sorry,
were.
Tallulah's not here at the moment. Please leave a message.
Listen, I just want to sleep in quiet.
Well, you don't want any company.
No.
Mm.
Oh, come on.
We already work
It's
for
getting.
company, and that's plenty. Let's go.
So
It's getting late.
Tallulah's like pushed her table in front of her door.
It's a two-person room.
I know. She pushed the table in front of the door.
Okay.
She doesn't want to get any leftovers.
Don't want to get tail thing.
Nope.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: she'd rather have Varus in the room playing his flute than be a tail thing. Thing tail. Tail thing.
Come on! I'm not that bad.
Shout out to Nori.
Kel will very pointedly walk with Nori and bunk with him.
I'm sure this place has single bed rooms. I'll just
There are
take one of
two,
those.
and Varys took one already.
And I'll take the other one.
That
Oh.
bastard.
And there's another one that has a big double bed. Actually, two that have a big double bed.
I mean,
You know what? I'm gonna go with Tallulah won't fit in that bed, so she's just gonna go up here.
And sprawl.
Still, table in front of door.
I don't know where to go.
Kel, are you spending? Okay, there you are.
Sorry, I didn't think to move the token.
He spent the night on the
Hey.
streets.
Hey. Oh, okay. Well,
Fail that one person, go to the other.
Look, we all get our own rooms.
It worked out that way.
England. England.
All right.
She's not used to sleeping by herself.
She has her pet mouse. She's not alone.
At night, we
hey.
hear the sound of paws rushing down the hall.
Just like at home.
3 in the morning exactly.
My cats do that in the middle of the day when I'm working. They tend to be sleeping at night when I'm sleeping. Occasionally, I'll wake up and the one has jumped onto the bed to curl up with me, though.
When my cat has figured out that I'm not upstairs, we'll hear at the door. Tuk, tuk, tuk. Meow.
Yeah.
Tuk, tuk, tuk.
right.
Here's skidding across the floor and crashing into things.
So, the next morning, you come awake. You all are perfectly fine, unmolested. You're safe in your rooms.
Hey!
And it is daytime. What would you like to do?
Fang staying in a room.
They can like.
Nori,
Go ahead.
Nori will go and start knocking on doors to get everyone. So,
He
first
can-
door.
He's knocking on Varys's door.
Caleb.
Who is it? Hello?
Sorry, I had to mute for a second. It's morning. Get up.
Okay. And I get up, put my suit on, do my hair real quick, and walk out the door.
And I go to the next door. And I knock.
You hear Tallulah get out of bed. Not quietly, it's just like a. And you hear her stomping over to the door, and you hear this like creaking of like the table being pushed from the door. And she opens the door. What?
Well, you know what? Never mind. It's morning.
And you can see like the table's like pushed behind her.
Nori occasionally glances at the table.
I didn't want that cat coming in.
Okay, well, it's morning, so come on.
I wonder if that lady has any more cabbages.
Well,
She just like walks off.
I'll go to this door.
You're
I
muted,
knock.
my love.
And Kel opens the door right as you're about to knock.
Oh,
Nori, I see
you're already out.
Well, shall we see if the cat was able to survive the night alone?
Nobody saw that I went into that room.
Do you know which room she went into? Because I'd rather not knock on that one.
I have no clue. But if you're not
Okay,
knocking on
well-
the room-
Roll the dice. Knock, knock.
Wait, what? Are we rolling dice to see which
No.
like lucky?
He's just knocking on the door.
It's just like, as in, like, it's a 50-50.
They're not.
Tallulah comes back. Any answer?
Mm, I knock again, louder this time.
Does it sound like that typing?
Sorry.
Tallulah just like pushes Nori out of the way, walks up to the door, and is like, "Do do do."
Fang,
Alright, well-
you feline all right?
You
She
seem to have
opened-
that door.
She opens the door.
You have to roll for a stealth, Fang.
Yep, I'll do that. Sure.
Keen
Thanks,
to
just-
out to the hallway, hearing the banging. He's got like a little toothbrush sticking out of his mouth.
Oh, good morning, Keen.
Tallulah, roll perception.
Shit.
You notice Fang's tail sticking up from under the bed.
I just go lift the bed up.
Hi.
Come on,
Good
we gotta leave.
morning.
Nori's waiting for you outside.
Nori!
So you get outside and you see that Keen has something stuck in the corner of his mouth that doesn't look familiar to you at all.
Is that some sort of meat stick?
He kind of blinks and then like goes and takes it out and and then very pointedly starts rubbing it against his teeth like
It's a whetstone.
it's
How
to
kobold
clean your
are vicious
teeth.
bite.
so they don't fall out of your head.
And you guys just hear a giant, like, as Tallulah drops the bed.
Nori just looks into the door.
Comes walking out. Found her.
What? This is gonna be an interesting job.
It's fun to actually play a character that's strong. Morning, Varus.
Good morning.
Not a morning person, are you?
Yeah.
Hey, you like cabbages?
Not particularly.
Only the best kind of people do.
Yeah. I'm obviously not one.
She's gonna, like, stop at that and turn around and walk back and, like, look down. How tall is Varus?
He's 5'8".
Great. So she's gonna look down at him and just, like, squint her eyes. What's wrong?
Nothing that can't be healed.
What's wrong?
It's a long story. I'd rather not talk about it right now.
Well, we got a few days, I'm sure, before we get somewhere, so. And she pats her shell, and this shell can hold a lot of weight.
Are you saying I can ride you?
No.
She's offering to help carry your emotional baggage.
She just points at Kill. Come on, let's go get breakfast. And she, like, grabs his arm and just starts dragging him.
I'm not resisting. Mainly because I don't think there's any way I could resist.
I mean, I have a 20 in strength, so.
Yeah, I have a 10.
I mean, I could roll shitty, but who knows?
Yeah, I'm not resisting, though.
Especially after that whole thing with the bed. Just. And as we're walking, you can hear Tallulah, like, mumbling to her stomach. It's okay, we'll get there soon, I promise. Okay, don't get mad.
So, as you guys get out of the inn in the morning, the sunlight blaring down, and the sound of people walking to and fro, the sound of carriages clip-clopping along the street, you notice the young man that some of you met the day before, standing outside, kind of looking this way and that, holding several books tucked under one arm.
Jason?
Hi.
Good morning, Jason.
Wait, what's Jason?
Wait, where the fuck is he? Where are you at?
Yeah. Since this is a random
Here.
map, I just put things randomly in places just to denote street and possibly other buildings. But,
Stop
main
it!
this is the main two being the inn and the tavern. That's usually most people want to visit.
Good morning, Jason.
Yes, hi. You asked me for some information on research, yeah?
Yes?
Yeah.
What do you have for us?
Well, he kind of grins. Look, I'm a bit of a scholar, and things have been kind of rough here the last little bit. I take it you guys are heading to Midpoint?
Yes, we are.
I was wondering
Most
if maybe I
likely
could
beyond
get.
that as well.
I was wondering if maybe
Oh.
I can get a ride there with you. Get out of town for a bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, good.
Okay, then confer with the group, that's fine.
What are you talking about? He seems like a nice guy, and he's got information for us.
Oh, yes, obviously I was gonna say yes, but
Well, how
you
about
shouldn't
this?
be making decisions for the entire group.
I'm sorry.
I point at Fang.
Kind of.
He's
kinda-
your responsibility. He bunks with you.
His eyes just kind of go wide. It's all like anime where you're like the very overzealous girl, okay, Fangtail, and the very nervous nerdy guy.
Don't worry, it's okay.
Why am I getting Bob vibes?
He predates Bob by several decades. I created him somewhere in the late '90s, whereas I created Bob only a year ago.
It's okay. I don't bite. Hard.
All right, so breakfast.
Yeah. Yes, let's go get food
Yeah, Jason.
before we head out.
Speaking of rides, we need to arrange our own transportation, don't we?
We do.
Well,
can-
we can just
Tallulah,
go down to
Go
down to the stables. They're not far. They're right past the open market.
Yeah, we
Tallulah
can.
raises her hand. What do I ride?
Yes.
Well, you could probably fit in a rhino, much like a minotaur. Or there's probably some wagons or a carriage you can buy.
Yeah,
Or
I
rent.
thought it would be better to get a carriage or wagon. One of those two.
Tallulah just like
It would be cheaper.
puts her head down and stomps inside.
I'd say we should go with the wagon. They're more equipped for cargo, so they should be able to handle our combined weight.
Hmm.
I mean,
Does anybody know how to drive a wagon?
Well,
Yes, I do actually.
you could probably hire someone at least down to midpoint. There's usually carriage rides and whatnot. Be quite inexpensive compared to actually buying a full one, if depending on your purchasing power.
Anyway, come on, let's go. We gotta get some food in us.
Inside the tavern, the smell of bacon fills the air.
Oh, oh.
I grabs Jason by the hand.
And Jason gets pulled in.
Tallulah asks
You didn't resist.
the bartender, how much bacon do you have?
Kel, you're gonna really have to do something about that.
I'm
About all that
sorry.
extra
I keep
taping.
thinking
I'm
I'm
sorry.
muting the mic.
It's just that I get so easily
I know.
distracted.
I know.
I'm so sorry.
It's like the opposite of me. Fucking he forgets to turn
Sorry.
off the mic. Me always forgets that I'm already muted.
So let's see. I've cooked up 2 pounds so far, but I've got 11 pounds altogether. I can completely cook up.
Great, I want 2 pounds of bacon.
Okay.
Do you have any eggs?
Okay. And he, puts the 2 pounds of bacon onto the bar counter, and starts firing up the rest of it in the back, and the smell just kind of is continuing to fill the air and getting more intense.
Do you have any eggs?
Yeah, we got some eggs.
How many?
Let's see, how many do we have left? I got only about 7 left. Some of the other customers have gotten really into them, and chickens and whatnot.
Tallulah's gonna take a minute and count how many people in our group would probably be having breakfast. She said, "I'll take one, please."
Okay. Make you an egg.
No. You can just hand me the egg. It's okay.
Oh, okay. And he pulls it from its current resting spot and hands it over.
She just throws it in her mouth, shell and all.
As he goes back to
Wow.
cooking the bacon.
Yeah, I'll just have bacon and egg. Normally.
there
What do
any
you
bread?
want, Jason?
Well, I would enjoy a bit of bacon if possible.
Tallulah
2
slides.
sides of bacon.
Tallulah slides some of the bacon down.
Is
There you go.
there any? Is there any bread by chance?
Yes. I still have some bread, and he pulls out the loaf. Would you like the loaf as it is, or I can possibly toast some of it up?
This sounds very odd, but there is a breakfast that we have where I come from called a hole in the wall. Ever heard of it?
God damn it, dear.
Oh, a bit of bread, and you make a well and cook an egg in the middle of it.
Exactly.
I can do that.
You, sir, are a man of culture.
Well, thank you.
In real life, he's obsessed with
If you're
those.
gonna sit on me when I'm doing this, you can use it as a
Actually, no.
book rest.
I am obsessed with shit. What are they called? Hash browns with a running egg over it.
Oh, I make those.
I love the yolk on it.
I love I love making hash browns. I usually
And I don't.
or I make a breakfast hash with potatoes and bacon and peppers. Since I'm allergic to onion, I can't use that.
And I don't eat egg yolks, so it works perfectly.
I only eat the egg yolks. The whites are just like kind of sitting there.
Nope, I hate the yolks. I'll eat the whites though.
Excellent.
I'll eat the white stuff, eh? Sorry.
No. Man.
Rick, next time you see him, please smack Jesse.
Wait, what are we up to? 3 specs now?
Yeah. About that.
Starting to think you're into it.
Do you guys happen to have any bulb fruit?
Any what? I'm sorry, I don't know what that is.
It's I've never found it on the surface. I just figured it'd be worth to ask. It's a delicacy down underneath.
No, there's no entrances to the Underdark anywhere near here. The only one that I've ever heard of is to the far west of the very tip of the the far east to the very tip of the Odling Mountains. Although I also hear, that the Kolar Mountains have entrances to the Underdark as well.
Okay, thank you. And he just dips his head.
Real quick, is Varus wearing his tie?
Yes.
Okay.
Tallulah offers him some bacon.
So for the meals that you guys have ordered, the just sheer amount of bacon, and with it you get some other breakfast ale, that sort of stuff. You were charged a total of 3 gold.
Varus looks at Tallulah and says, "It's a very kind gesture, but I'm vegan."
Do you have any cabbages?
No, I sold you my last cabbage last night.
Oh, any more pie?
Ooh, King can drive a little Vespa scooter. That's so cute.
Cool.
And you ate my last pie as well.
And she looks back at Varus, like looking down. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
She tapped her stomach. Tum Tum was hungry.
It's
I
okay.
mean, isn't the
Market.
open market open? Yeah, open market.
I'm not
The
sure
markets are open.
the work that the food was put into.
Tallulah's out. She's like going to find the market.
Tallulah, lay down.
I need snackage.
Just hearing that while she's running down the street. I need that.
I'm thinking that in your particular office, between Keen and Tallulah, the vending machines constantly need to be restocked, and most of the time when you go to them, you don't find anything of edible because either the turtle has gotten there or the kobold has gotten there first.
Well, I mean,
And-
for Keen, the snack lasts all day. I mean, if it's
Yeah.
a regular size snack, he's got like one bag of chips. That's like a whole day's worth of chips.
And then there's Tallulah. 12 bags of chips.
Jesus Christ. That's great.
So Tallulah is going to the open market, wherever that is.
And Nori's chasing her down to catch up to her.
Yeah, the open market is just north of the stables, but it is a few stalls down from the inn. So it's actually like right near the inn, right past one of the temples. You get to the open market, and you see a lot of shopkeepers setting up, getting together their wares, and you see kind of basically think of farmers market, and you'll have a right idea of what you see around you. Plus the occasional adventurers gear such as rope and torches and flasks of oil.
She's like marching down to the different stalls. Snacks, snacks, snacks. Snack. So she's going to go
There's
up
even the sound
to-
of chickens clucking.
She's going to go up to a stall that has vegetables.
And
Nora's just gonna follow
there's
her.
a plump halfling woman behind the stall, like laying out cabbages, and she's got some bundles of wheat, a small sack of well, 8-pound sack of salt, and in a cage behind her. There's a few chickens. Uh, she has like carrots and potatoes and lettuce.
Oh. Good morning.
Ah, good morning to you. What can I do for you?
Has she looked up at this point
Yes, she's
and
looking
seen
up
a
at you.
turtle?
Ah, you're different looking from a minotaur, but you're about as big as one of them.
Are you calling me fat?
She blinks. No.
I'm all shell, okay?
I wasn't going to ask. Are you here to buy some of my fine wares?
She just kind of blinks. You mean vegetables?
Yes.
Yes. Give me 6 cabbages, a pound of carrots, a pound of potatoes, 6 heads of lettuce. Um, and an apple.
All right. That'll be 1 silver for you.
Just one apple?
Just one. I need to watch my figure.
She starts pulling all these things together. All these things together for you. 1 silver.
I will hand her 1 silver out of my own money.
Would you like anything else?
Do I see anything else around? Like, this is gonna sound weird, but is there a little hat?
Roll a 1d100.
Oh, God.
Sadly, you don't see any hats for sale anywhere nearby.
She's just gonna mosey around and see if anything catches her eye.
Anybody
But-
else wish to buy anything at the open market?
Keen is kind of slinking around the market, looking just to see if he finds anything local flavors. Anything interesting.
Nora's gonna
Well,
go deal with
considering
the transport.
considering you're an urbanite, you're more used to like seeing rats and pigeons and things like that. Here, you're seeing live chickens in little cages. They're like clucking and staring out at you, tilting their heads to one side, kind of like a pigeon, but not. There's the occasional goat going bah bah and trying to eat something at random that's on the ground. You see a sheep. You even see a pig like sitting in a pen, just kind of staring out at you. It's sized enough that you could probably use that as a mount if you really wanted to.
Oh my god, Keen
The
riding
animals
a pig.
are
Great.
the
I think he'd
animals
rather ride the goat.
The animals are caged. We must set them free.
Keen
Oh,
Keen
no.
is like slowly making the connection that this is where meat comes from. This is meat before it's meat. He's like, "Where's all the packaged goods?" He's
Right
really,
there. Natural package.
but
And
it's not wrapped in plastic. It's wrapped in fur. Weird.
and
That's where meat
feathers.
comes from.
And there's one stall that Keen is now next to that has lots of sausages hanging up above it on the little hooks. And there's a big beefy guy, not to be confused with a minotaur, but like kind of a half orc, wearing a butcher's apron and splattered in blood, and he's got he's basically got a thing set up behind with a butcher's block, and he's currently in the process of draining one chicken. He's like holding it by its feet. It doesn't have a head anymore, and he's holding it over a bowl with the blood shooting out. And he's looking down at you.
Keen is just kind of watching in like morbid fascination. He's just like, huh.
Would you care for something, little one?
He might ask if he has like dried like Landjaeger like jerky type sausages that would be good for traveling.
Ah, well, all my sausages are good for traveling. They're nicely seasoned, so they stay fresh for a while. You should be able to cook them nicely over a fire.
He's gonna. Oh, I don't know if Nori's with him.
No, Nori's already started to head to the stables.
So I guess Keen would buy himself some to use as rations, because they're local and they're fresh, and he's assuming they're organic because these people probably don't know anything about fertilizer.
How much longer? do
Preserve-
Chemical
Preservatives,
fertilizer.
yeah.
I mean,
They
it's
know about
poop. It's
fertilizer.
fertilized with poop.
Yep.
We can probably buy fertilizer. Let's see, rations. So this would probably be. Let's see. How many sausages would you like to buy?
We're gonna be on the road for like 4 or 5 days before we get to the next town.
You think so, based on the map that you saw?
All right, then he'd get like 4 or 5 days worth of sausages,
So
and
he-
like one of each kind. Like if there's like a
Yeah.
chicken and a pork, he'd get
Yeah.
like a variety pack.
So he charges you 5 silver for the lot.
So he would hand that over. So I have that's 9 gold and 5 silver left. Okie dokie. And we'll just say I have 5 rations now.
Nice.
And
Are there any like do I see any music shops or like anywhere where they're selling instruments?
Roll a 1d100.
Okay.
No, this is mostly seems to be aimed at food.
All right, then I'm gonna go up to any like fruit stand and just get, probably like just some apples and oranges, bananas, grapes to last me,
Well, they don't
4 or
have
5 days.
They don't seem to have like some of those fruits. Like they have apples. They don't seem to have bananas. But they do have grapes.
All right, I'll get like 4 or 5 days
oranges,
worth
for
of
that matter.
apples and grapes.
So like apples and grapes, yes.
Okay. How much would that be?
Let's see. How much? How many? Do you say days worth?
Yeah, 4 or 5 days worth.
So yeah, that would also be. Well, actually, in this case, it would probably be about 7 silver for all that.
Okay. 10 silver for 1 gold, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's based on the
So I
10 10
hand
10
that-
system.
All right. I hand that over to the. I hand a gold piece over to the whoever is in charge of the fruit stand.
Yeah, she hands it back. She smiles and hands you your change. Thank you.
Thank you.
Grizz, how
Hell.
much longer are we playing? Just asking.
Probably another half an hour. And do you need to go to sleep soon, or not sleep? Do you need to go somewhere soon?
I need to head out soon, so that means I don't miss any of the stores, so I can get Mother's Day gifts and shit.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. You're not going to be here at tomorrow's session because of Mother's Day. Right?
I'll see. I'll see if Mum will be able to put up with me being able to talk while they're asleepish.
Ah,
So we'll see what happens. I should be
that's
able to.
that's up to you. It's like, if just spending time with family is more important.
It's all good. But yeah, I think I might hop off now. I want to keep Jason as a pet though.
Okay, that's fine.
Basically,
try
that's
to,
all.
You can try to cling
I'm
to
trying
Jason.
do.
Jason has asked to catch a ride to midpoint. And
Good,
we
that's
can-
not me. That's all I care about.
Yeah.
So you'd agree if Jason joined the party?
Yeah. He can join. He's coming down to midpoint because he needs one. He wants to, and he might have information.
also,
True,
Kel
true.
will go ahead and grab like a week's worth of ration if possible, but
Okay,
they're
guys,
pretty
get
assorted.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Hopefully when I come back, Jason will be in the mood.
I thought you were gonna say replaced with Nori.
I mean, that's only if Jason dies. Or when he goes away. Which,
Yeah.
could happen. Anyway, bye. Thanks for the awesome game.
You're welcome. So I figured, like, we got a little bit more we can continue on to here. Like, for example, arranging transportation would probably be a good plan to finish off with tonight.
No, he's already on his way to the stables.
I also know how to operate
That's a big
carriage
TV.
or a wagon. So it is an option for
So
us.
stables are slightly north of the open. No, sorry, they're slightly south of the open market. They're just across the street from it. To the south. And you see various, storekeeper. The stables are pretty wide. There's some large horses. There are a few rhinos. And there are various carriages and the like that are kind of set out outside with the horses starting to be hitched up again. So, what would you guys like to do? What's your plan here?
So we're at the stables, right?
Yeah.
So have we decided on what do we want? A carriage, car? What do we want?
I'm thinking of a cart that'll be able to carry all of us with Tallulah, as well as any equipment that we need.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
How many horses, or should we take rhinos?
Rhinos did seem to be faster than
The
horses.
was it one rhino or two that was pulling the carriage we were in?
One rhino.
The one rhino might be more cost effective. Only one
So
mount feed.
a rhino and a cart
And feed.
and feed.
Wait.
All right.
We should probably ask what they eat.
All right. Yeah. So where's the stable master at?
Okay, so the stable master is a rather large minotaur who's overlooking everything, and as you guys wander up, he kind of looks over to you and gives you a toothy grin. Ah, welcome. What can I get for you today? You looking to hire? You're looking to buy? What's your pleasure?
Well, we need to get down to midpoint,
Hmm.
and we're looking to get
Well,
hopefully, if the price is right, a rhino with a cart and some feed.
Well, if you're just looking to get down to midpoint, it's easy enough to hire a cab. Let's see. There's a standard price, and he goes into a ledger to look at the pricing on that. Which, give me 1 second.
And so is the GM.
No, I just have to remeasure something because I don't have it written down exactly, but I have the measuring right here. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's about 200 miles. So let's see. That is, and he looks at the price because it would be, listed in his ledger right there, which I for some reason do not have listed out as a measure thing. I have to put my calculator to good use. Come here, calculator.
Tallulah's gonna take this opportunity to take out the apple that she bought and hand it to Varus, because as far as she knows, he hasn't eaten yet. And she doesn't know if he's bought anything.
Thank you.
So that would be 6 gold to get all the way down to midpoint with a hire coach for each of you.
Alright.
And he looks at it. How many would be going?
7?
7 people times that. Yeah, so that'd be 13 gold. What was it? Sorry, 42. Yeah, 42 gold.
Do you think because we are here doing work for the king, so do you think you can maybe drop that price just a little bit since
Roll
we're
a
working for the
persuasion
king?
check.
You can do it, Caleb. Hopefully it goes better than the flute.
Yeah.
Yay!
Woo!
Well, if you're working for the king, and that would be a very dangerous thing to lie about, I suppose I can do it for 25.
I look at Nori.
Yeah, I'm getting there. And I hand over 25 gold.
Yes. Yeah, that's much cheaper than attempting to buy a rhino, which would be 200 gold just for the rhino,
Oh
and
yeah, that's
then
out of it.
more
The
for the
price range.
carriage. 100 gold for the carriage, and then of course it's the feed, and a saddle if you wish to control the rhino.
At this, Tallulah just kind of looks down like, damn it. I wanted to ride a rhino.
Where do we go for the cab?
Oh, just wait here. I will speak to the cab manager.
All right, thank you.
Nice negotiating, Varus.
Yeah, everyone's good at something, yeah.
God damn it, Varus, what's your problem this morning? That was the character, by the way.
I had a bad dream.
What was it about? Was it about Fangtail showing up in your bedroom?
No.
That might have been the nightmare we all had.
No,
Not me.
it has to do with my past.
You want to talk about it? And Tallulah like braces her cheeks on her hands.
No, not particularly.
Sometimes it's better if you talk about it. You can't hold everything in all the time, otherwise you get really fucking mad. See?
I'm going to try to actually here. I'm going to whisper to you, Tahula.
Tahula? Fuck, that's my name now. Tahula, Tahula. God, I feel like I made this character and now it's a mix of Zerk and Tinkerpunk.
What do you mean?
Pushing your boundaries.
Are talking about the random mood swings?
Random mood swings, carrying Keen, wanting
Carrying
to make
Keen
sure
is
everyone's
hilarious.
okay. And then there's still some Cloud in there.
Yeah.
Fucking with everybody.
And by the way, that dog is very cute.
Oh, Apache? Thanks. That's the one that ate the stuffing.
Person who just whispered me, please roll me a sleight of hand check.
All right, let me look at. All right. God damn it.
Yeah, everyone around you, everyone in the party that's currently at the stables, would notice that Varys is attempting to slip some sort of letter to Tallulah.
Nori will just keep an eye out on it.
Because that was lower than everyone's passive perception.
Tallulah's just gonna like open the letter. Like no big deal, just open it.
All right. I'll send you a message.
Is not her her forte.
I'll send you a message of what it says.
Nori's sort of looking over at it too.
God damn it, Caleb! If I get summoned for something,
Aw, the pup has a floppy ear.
yes,
Aw,
Half Jack Russell, half sheep.
yep.
that is so cute.
And then the other two dummies. The boxer has no sense of personal space.
The other dog looks like it's resigned to put up with that.
Chance, so Dutch is the boxer. He, again, personal space means nothing to him. And Chance will lay there until he's like, okay, fuck this shit. And he'll like roll them both out of the chair. Because for some reason, Dutch has decided that his dog bed, his expensive Tempur-Pedic dog bed, is not good enough.
Yeah.
He needs to lay.
The only place my two cats never sleep is the cat bed I have for them. They will sleep in the box that I brought home from no, that's right. It's a box that used to contain beans that I have currently on the floor, and I put a towel inside of it, and they will occasionally go lay down in that.
There's one last picture in here that just shows you Dutch's personality, but I need to find it. Because he's
So,
a special kind of stupid.
what are the rest of you guys doing? You guys have negotiated at the stables. You're gonna take a cab down to midpoint.
Keen would have eventually found everybody at the stables after wandering around the market for a bit.
All right. Grizz, I will also send you what this letter says that I sent to Tallulah.
All right.
Huh? Tallulah's like just gonna look at you like, the fuck you want me to do with this? What?
Nori is just looking over, curious.
You asked me what my dream was about.
So you're afraid to go on a date?
Mm,
She
we
walks
went.
up to him. Do you have commitment issues?
No, we went on a date. We went on several dates.
And
We got married.
The horror.
and
Well,
was she murdered?
and he tips his head away.
She like grabs the front of his shirt. What happened?
No,
Shit, we're moving.
No, I was just trying to say that you guys, since you guys are in the market, no one's in the tavern. That leaving your
fair.
tokens in the tavern would be senseless.
I would rather not talk about it.
Do you need to write me another letter? Is that how you? Is that the best way for you to get your feelings out?
No,
Jason.
I reflect my feelings in my music.
Jason is kind of standing there, his eyes just kind of looking back and forth as, the tabaxi continues to hang on him.
Sing me a song.
Yeah, if
About
you're a
your
bard, you should
past.
sing us a song. What songs do you know? Or stories? Do you tell stories?
Sing us a song about your past.
I mean, I can tell you a story, I guess.
You're muted, dear.
Do you want to save the stories for the road? We might be there for a while.
Yeah, this is true.
Tallulah looks down into her shell. I have snacks.
Have snacks, will travel?
Yes. She lets go of Varus's shirt and like straightens it out. Sorry, I get a little excited sometimes.
It's
don't worry.
okay.
If we run into the person that killed your wife, I will rip them apart. And she just smiled.
We won't have to worry about that.
Did you kill your wife?
I'm getting serious Cloud vibes right now.
He looks up. He looks up at
can't.
you.
I can't not be Cloud. It's so. Give me this,
Cloud is you.
Grizz.
Cloud
Evan-
Cloud was reborn as a turtle.
Evanor is hard to play, okay?
Oh wait, no. This would predate that because this is long before Jesse Nightstorm was born. Therefore,
He looks up at you, and just you can see in his eyes, like almost like, how could you say something like that?
Okay, alright, it was just a question. It's fine, it's fine. Because I really don't have to rip you apart. Smiles. Pulls out a cabbage. Would you like a bite? Tears off a leaf.
No, thank you. I have an apple that you gave me earlier.
Eat it.
Okay.
Jesus.
Puts the cabbage back in her shell.
You know what they say, an apple a day keeps the witch doctors away.
I don't think I know that saying. Is that a saying where you come from?
Sort of. I was referencing the things that we're trying to take out.
Jason just gives you a blank look. What does a witch doctor have to do with the dead thing? Oh, are you one of those people that think it's the orcs that are doing this?
Honestly,
sort
I
of-
have no clue. It was a pop culture reference from my own past. Ignore me.
Jason, have you had breakfast?
Oh, yes, I had some bacon.
Did you get enough to eat?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Pulls out a cabbage, takes off
Uh,
a leaf.
No,
Here.
no, thank you. I don't need any cabbage. I'm
Eat
good.
it.
No, I don't like cabbage.
Pulls out lettuce, tears off a leaf.
He's fine, please.
You're not my mother. I'm not supposed to be eating random vegetables. I don't
Are you
like
saying
random
that there's
vegetables.
something wrong with my shell? That it can't
Okay,
preserve
both of you,
food?
calm down. Both of you,
Yeah, you're not my mother. You can't make me eat my vegetables.
both of you, calm down. And stop talking.
Tallulah just says, I can if I shove it down your throat.
Okay, Tallulah. That's enough.
Hey, stable master. How much longer until the calves are here? I'm ready to tell my story.
Varys is
The
back.
cabs are ready. If everybody's ready to go, we can set off.
All right.
Yeah, I'll sit next to Jason.
Do you guys want to hear my story?
Yes.
You'll find it hard to sit next to Jason.
But before the story, actually, speaking of bites to eat, you're gonna need this, Varys. And Kel shoves a bag at you.
What is it?
Just take it. You're gonna need it. It's gonna be a long trip.
Do I smell food coming from it?
Mm.
Grizz?
I look
I
inside
imagine-
the bag.
I imagine that there is, if it's what I think it is.
So Tallulah's like, babe? Typing.
I don't know. I typed things very quickly.
Yeah, he
Um.
was just whispering to me.
I take a look over Varys' shoulder and look into the bag.
I immediately shut the bag.
Are those snacks?
No.
I don't
You know how
like.
bad I want to insight that.
We're gonna be here.
You
for
can
a while.
inside it.
I'm gonna insight that just for shits and giggles. Snacks are no.
And roll and roll either persuasion, deception, GM roll because you know which one is which for this particular case.
Oh, oops.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
We
sorry, I
seem
thought that
to
was
be-
insight and that was decent. Decent. My bad. I was. I thought that said insight and that was from her. My bad. I
We seem to
hate when
be
that
at an
happens.
impasse.
Meet it, beat it.
So what's in the bag?
Some snacks.
What kind of snacks?
Nuts and dried fruit.
Takes a piece of cabbage leaf. I'll trade you.
No, thank you.
What?
Poor Tallulah, nobody wants her cabbage.
This is gonna be a
Takes out
running
carrot.
theme with her, I think.
Takes out a carrot. How about now?
I hand her 2 raisins for
And-
the carrot.
And she like looks at them. Her eyes are glowing. Thank you. And
Now,
then
can I tell my story?
which accent are you gonna use?
Probably all
I
of
don't
them.
know.
Jason is
I
just
don't know.
staring at Varys now. It's like you're just weird, aren't you?
He is.
I get that a lot.
So I
Alright.
have a very valid question. When we're in the carriage, I assume it can hold all of us. But does it tilt to one side on what side Tallulah's
No.
sitting on?
Because
Okay.
it was designed for minotaurs, and you're about the same size as a minotaur. In fact, some minotaurs are probably heavier than you. Therefore, it's fine. It feels fine to you.
Okay, great. Because last thing we need is be popping a wheelie while we're out on the road.
So, I'm going to tell you about the children of the mountain. How's that sound?
No, I want to hear about your past.
I'm going to tell you about the children of the mountain. How does that sound?
It's the
I wanna hear
children
about
of
your
the
past.
mountain.
So, all right. We're talking about the children of the mountain.
God damn it.
All right. Long ago, during the age of the Great Meeg Empire, there was a lone mountain home to the children. They lived there safe from the outside, and watched over by a protective matriarch who had grown to love them all. Nearby, there was a tiny port where slaves from the Meeg were brought to work on the Collard Road. But pirates docked out and looked up on the mountain with such greed. They took dwarves in their shackles and told them dig through the loots of its riches. The children grew in numbers and kicked them out. The pirates brought Minotaur gladiators and bandits to slaughter the children and protect the dwarves. This brought out the matriarch. She killed the gladiators, killed the bandits, she captured the pirates and told them if they dared to hurt the mountain children again, she would burn their port. They would not listen, so in the dead of night she brought the children in great numbers and set fire to the place from the sky, reducing it to ash. But all but the slaves were killed. The matriarch took those in shackles and told them not to harm the mountain children. To not touch the mountain. If they did this, she would set them free and give them stones to build their homes. Kill those who had threatened them to, and if they brought her tributes. They formed shackled ones, did as asked, and the new ports prospered even as the Meeg Empire began to fracture and die.
Jason's just kind of staring.
Is that it?
An interesting story.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah. That's all I remember.
That was a shitty story.
For those of you interested, roll a history check.
Yeah, sure.
I think I closed my character sheet by accident.
Oh fuck, Tallulah doesn't know shit.
Nope.
Of course, I roll high on the thing I don't have a bonus on.
Oh, Cal and Keen, this story is very familiar to you. As soon as you parse out what he's saying, it's like, oh, that's the story of the founding of the port city of Tuwala, when matriarch Jasmine, the great red dragon, set fire to what used to be just a little port town for pirates and slavers, and basically brought her kobolds down there in great numbers after they'd been threatened, and basically decided to release all the slaves that were enslaved by the Meeg Empire and that were using that port, and let them stay.
A quick question: what color of kobold is Keen?
He's like blackish. He's dark
Okay.
gray.
I thought it would have been a funny coincidence if Keen had been a descendant.
Yeah, most of the ones from that region would have probably been red, although some of them might have been tinted blue in some cases.
Mm-hmm.
But the majority were red. There's more. There's some red from the south, from the Zaladin, from the area that was once Zaladin. Most of those ones were like bronze and brass in color. So you've got like the greens and the oranges and other colors of that sense, and some that were kind of bluish from that region. A lot of them make up what kobolds exist in Imlarin. They can trace several houses in the noble section there. And of course, there's others who just basically came in and emigrated because this place, because Imlarin was very, open with kobolds. In some places, were treated like like vermin in some senses. So it's like going to a place where you could be free and work a job instead of being relegated to some menial task for some like great dragon. It's like, yeah, you could live in Imlarin and do that. So
Can we hear about your past now?
we can do that, or we can end here for the night and work and hear about all of that next week
I'm down for whatever.
as you guys set out on your road adventure.
I
The room.
think I'll tell a story about my past later, because I have to write that down.
I need to figure it out first.
Yeah, like,
Huh?
So I just imagine like the scene closing out with all of us in the carriage and Tallulah like trying to get Varus's snack pack.
Snack pack. Snack pack.
If you reach for it, Varus begins to reach for his flute.
All the things you'd like to eat with nuts and dried fruit too.
All right,
And
thank you for joining me.
Tallulah, yeah.